Hi everyone. Welcome to today's NPTEL session. I am Rupesh and we'll be starting the session within a minute. So can anyone just confirm by typing in the chat box whether I'm audible and you can see my face also. So yeah. So we'll be starting in a few minutes. So let's wait for some more people to join. So hi everyone. So welcome to today's NPTEL session on programming, solving problems through programming in C. So I'm Rupesh Kumar and we'll starting the session. So can you just confirm the logistics for this session? Like my audio should be clear and you should be able to see my face and also my screen should be shared with you guys. So can you see the screen? Everyone? Anyone just confirm by typing in the chat box so that I can be sure. Great. So before starting this session, I just want to clarify, like revise few of your things from the previous session. So in the previous session, we worked with loops. Loops in the C programming languages. So we discussed few problems on the for loop, while loop, and do while loop. We solved some multiple choice questions on these loops also, but we did not have enough time to write code write our new code on the loops. So I gave you guys some problems to do on your own. So these were the practice problems. So yeah, I think the broadcast was interrupted because I was receiving some phone call. So I hope my screen is visible and you are able to hear me, and my video feed is also normal. So yeah, so we are talking about loops. In the previous session, we did some problems on loops and we considered some basic MCQ type questions on loops. So we covered three types of loop that are provided by the C language: the for loop, while loop, and the do while loop. But we were unable to solve more complex problems on loop where we had to write a code on our own. So I gave you guys some practice problems on loops. So I guess the first one was based on the problem 9 was based on switch case. So anyone, do you have any doubt in this question? Should I solve this for you? Is the text visible? Font size is fine for you. You can just type in the chat box so that we can confirm and then I can proceed. Yeah, fine. So do you, anyone has any doubt in the question 9? So it's based on switch case statements. So it says a store gives discount based on membership status and the amount spent. Members spending over rupees 100 get a 10% discount. Non-members spending over rupees 150 get a 5% discount, and all other get no discount. So anyone, do you have any doubt for this problem? So yeah, someone is saying, please explain question 9. So yeah, let's start with the question 9 for today's session. Uh, so let's start. So maybe I can open up something to draw. So the problem statement is like this. A store gives discount based on membership status and the amount spent. So suppose there is a there are there are so in a shop there is a policy of membership. So there are two kinds of customer who can who go to a particular shop. They can be either be a member or they can be just random customers who do not have the membership for their particular shop, and a store gives discount based on the membership status and the amount spent. So if there is a member like a member if there is a customer A who is a member of that but who has taken the membership of that particular shop, particular store, they will get I mean discounts as follows. If a member is spending over rupees 100, and then he or she gets a 10% discount. If there is if a person is not a member of that store and they spend more than rupees 150, they get a 5% discount, and all others get no discount. So the let me open up a book terminal for you. Hmm. So problem 9, week 5. Let's see. So I hope this text is visible to you all. So this is the problem statement. So let's start our program with the basic standard IO library by importing the standard IO library and then defining the main function. Yeah. So now we have to write a logic. So there is a store has members and non-members. If a member spends over rupees 100, then they get a 10% discount on the total amount. So yeah, so one more silent feature. So now it's fine, Gaurav. I hope the text size is fine. Yeah, great. So yeah, so suppose so there are two types of customers. Two types of customers. Let's say class A and class B. Class A are members, class B are non-members. Now, if a customer belongs to class A, then if they spend more than 100 rupees, give a discount of 10% over the give a discount of 10% of the spending. Else, the customer belongs to class B. Then, if they spend more than 150 rupees, give a discount of 5%. And yeah, so else, no discount. So I hope the logic is clear to every one of you. Uh, so uh, let's say there is a customer one who spends rupees 100 and he or she belongs to class A. Then discount amount is 10 rupees. So total amount he has to pay, she has to pay is 90. Got it? So this is how the logic will go. Otherwise, if let's say there is a customer 2 who has spent 150 rupees and belongs to class B, then discount amount is, so what would the 5% of 150? So it will be 15 cents, 7.5 rupees, I guess. 7.5 rupees. Then the discount rupees is 7.5. So total amount is 150 minus 7.5. Fine. So this is how the logic will go. So let's go ahead and create a variable member, uh, customer. So it will take in the customer name as input, and let's say the user tells if he or she is a member or not. So let's use integer value for this only, member. So if customer is a member, then member equals to 1, else 0. So this is all. So let's go ahead and give a prompt to the user using the printf statement. Kindly enter the member. Kindly enter the member, the customer ID. So let's take in the customer ID as input. Let's use the scanf statement. I hope every one of you is now familiar with this scanf statement. The actual format specifier percentage d, and then we are passing the address of the variable in which we want to take in the input. So this is the customer And then let's go ahead and take in the input if he or she is a member or not. So kindly enter the membership details. So the details are like this: 0 if member, and then 1 if not a member. So let me just not a member. Yeah, 0 if not a member and 1 if a member. Let's again go ahead and take in the input. So it's percentage %d and the input is and member. Fine. So now we know that whether the customer is a member or not. So let's solve this problem using switch case. So let's go ahead and create a switch statement and jump to the variable member, because if the customer is member, then something happens. If not, then another thing happens. So case 0, that means the customer is not a member. Then what happens? If the customer is not a member, then we have to check if the expenditure is the total amount they are going to pay is greater than 150 or not. So let's go ahead and take in the input as the total amount to pay. So maybe uh, total cost, maybe, and take in the input for the total cost. So kindly enter the amount to be the total cost as take. Let's go ahead and take in the input in the variable total cost. So percentage D. So expenditure can be a float. So I will be using for a percentage. I have format specifier here, and then we'll be passing the value into the variable total cost. Fine. So now what we have to do? Now we have the total cost also. So the problems that can be solved using switch can also be solved using if else. So yeah, the problems using switch can also be solved using if else. So I'm just giving this is a bit complex, complicated problem that requires that can be written using switch case. So I'm just giving an example where how to solve such complex problems also. Fine. So now what we have to do, we can use the if statement within this block and check if the total cost is greater than equals to 100, then total cost equals to total cost minus. So we have to compute the 10% of the total cost. So it will be 0.1 multiplied by total cost. It's a simple math. And then simply print the customer has to pay some amount of rupees. Fine. So let's go ahead and print the amount. The amount is total cost. Else they have to pay the entire amount. So nothing fancy need to be done here. The customer has to pay percentage of rupees and then total cost here. Fine. So this was the case if the person was a member. So this is a case 1. So let's go ahead and create case 0. So if total cost, if he she is not a member, then the discount amount is 5% and the cost to check is less than greater than 150. And then yeah, this is the program that will do the thing that we need. And suppose someone enters any other value other than 0 and 1 for the membership, then we can give the default case and we can simply print you did not enter the correct membership detail. So yeah, this program will do what the stuff that we want to do. So let's go ahead and solve the shit problem. So let me do one thing first. So let's go ahead and compile our program. Let me zoom in a bit. So I hope the text is clear for you guys. So yeah, someone is saying I have to declare the total cost in float. Let's see. So yeah, there was an error. So thank you, Kushi. So what I did was I declared total cost as integer. So that's not correct. So let me go ahead and declare it as a float variable. So yeah, now we can simply compile our code and then run it. So let's say the customer ID is 1. Now we should go ahead and enter the membership details. So let's say I'm not a member and I spend 150 rupees, then I have to spend 142.5 rupees. So this is correct. Again, let's say I'm a customer 2 and I'm a member and I'm spending total 100 rupees. So I have to pay 90 rupees. And lastly, if I'm a customer 3, I'm not a member and I spend rupees 100, then I have to spend total 100 rupees. So this is the program that will do the thing that we wanted to do right here. So everyone, do you have any doubt in this program? So anyone having any doubts? So I guess there are no doubts, so I should proceed. So maybe I can add it in the great. So yeah, now we can proceed further. So I will go ahead and type in the answer here. So that's it. So let's go ahead and solve the next problem. So the next program says write a C program to print all the alphabets from A to Z. So I hope everyone can solve this problem. This basically requires the loop in C, and this is an example that will help you to write code using loops. So repetitions in C. So can anyone does anyone have a doubt in this problem? Write a C program to print all alphabets from A to Z. So you can just type in the chat box so that I can proceed. Anyone? I'm not seeing any messages from you all, so am I audible? And is my screen visible to you all? So yeah, great. So I guess none of you have any doubts in this. So someone has a problem in question number 12. So we'll proceed sequentially. So does anyone have any problem with question number 11? Write a C program to print all even numbers between 1 to 100. If you have any doubt, just type in the chat box. If you don't, then we can proceed. I don't think anyone has any doubts in question number 11. So someone is saying, please explain the logic of question number 10. So let's go ahead and solve this problem. Yeah. So let's go ahead and solve this. So I will include the standard IU and then so yeah. The problem asks us to write a program to print all the alphabets in C, all the alphabets of the English language. So to solve this problem, we need to look for the convention that the C programming language uses. So we basically use the ASCII, so America's Standard for Information Exchange Code for defining the values for various symbols on the keyboard. So you can go ahead and search for ASCII symbols, ASCII values for alphabets, and then you will see that yeah. So you will see that the alphabets are there is some numerical value associated with each of the alphabets in the English language. So you can see A is 97, and it goes up to Z, that is 122. So similarly for capital letters, it's 65 to 90. So these are some standard numbers that have been defined assigned to each of the ASCII each of the characters present on the keyboard. So, and the C programming language basically uses this information for identifying whether the given input is what character. Fine. So, what we can do is we know that the ASCII value for the alphabet A is 65. So, ASCII value of alphabet A is 65. So, what we can do, we can simply, when we change the format, we typecast the number 65 to a character, then the C language automatically prints its character value, and the character value assigned to the value 65 is A. So let's go ahead and try out an example and see if whatever I'm seeing is true, correct or not. So let's go ahead and print the value A equals to, let's say, percentage C. I'm using the character type specifier and I'm passing in the value 65, which is an integer. So let's go ahead and see what happens. So GCC 10, then A dot out. So you can see it's printing A equals to A. So let me change the line. So can anyone see on the everyone can you see that on the output screen? I can see A equals to A, where I was actually printing A equals to a numerical value and the value was 65. So can you see? So I guess Sanya had a doubt. So Sanya, can you just see the what was the output here? So we are actually printing A equals to percentage C. Percentage C is a format specifier for character values, and I'm just passing the value integer 65. You can see it's printing A, not 65. So this is what actually the C programming language does with the integer values when we try to convert them into the character values. So now what we have to do, we have to not print the ASCII value for A. We have to print the ASCII value. We have to simply print the all the alphabets in the English language. Someone is asking we should use explicit conversion. So no, it's not needed here. So yeah. So what we can do, we can simply run a loop. So let's say for int I equals to. So let's define a variable iteration value variable 65. And since it should go to up to 90, so I'll be using I is less than equals to 90 and then increment it one by one. Then what you have to do, you have to simply print, you have to simply print the a value of I in the character format. And let's go ahead and run this code and you will see that it will print all the characters from A to Z. So all of you are familiar with the for loop by now, no? So should I explain the syntax of for loop again? So can anyone just does anyone have any doubt with for the syntax of for loop? So I have already explained the logic for this problem. So if you have any doubt, just type in the chat box so that I can explain it to you all. So great. So I hope you are all able to understand this problem. Great. So you can also solve this using the while loop. For that, I will have to declare the variable I outside the loop while I is less than equals to 90, and then I will simply print the value in the character formats with the character format specifier. So let's go ahead and print I and then change its value also. So I'm using I plus plus. So let's see what it does. So you can again see it's printing the characters. So can anyone just given the logic for type in the logic for solving this problem using the do while loop? Using for loop, using while loop, and the last one is using do while loop. So can anyone just type in that logic for if suppose if I want to solve the same problem using do while loop. So can anyone just type in the logic here? So I guess it's not clear to you all. So maybe I will write the logic by myself. So we will again start by declaring the variable I, the iterator. So do, and then we have to type in something while I is less than. So someone is saying do I plus plus while I is less than equals to 90. So let's go ahead and check if the logic is correct. So what I have to do, printf percentage %c and then I plus plus change, maybe don't change the line, and then a terminator, and let's see if it works. So you can see it's printing the alphabets from A to Z. Fine. So yeah, Kushi, your code was correct. So this is how we will be solving this problem using do while loop. So I hope this helps you to understand writing logic using while, do while, and for loops, and you are able to understand what the ASCII codes are. So let's go ahead and try this for, let's say, other values. Let's say I start I from 0 and let's say what the program prints. So you will see that it's printing some blank spaces that the terminal is unable to understand. And at some point it starts printing the numbers and then special characters and then starts with the ABCD. So you can go ahead and look up the ASCII table and try this example on your own to understand how it works. So I will just paste the code. Fine. So, I hope question number 10 is clear. So now in question number 11, I guess every one of you will be able to solve this problem. Does anyone have any doubt, or should I proceed? Okay, great. So let's go ahead to go to the question number 12. So I remember someone was asking for question for the solution to question number 12. So Gaurav, you had doubt for question number 12. So let's go ahead and solve this problem. So question number 12 says write a C program to print the multiplication table. Okay, multiplication table of any number. So before that, I have a doubt from student. So Khushi is saying, sir, you had put a semicolon after while. Isn't it wrong? So no, the syntax of do while is like this only. You don't put semicolon here because that will make the loop. There will be no loop body here, but it is not wrong. This is the actual syntax of do while loop. So basically, you use the do statement, then the block of statement that have to be repeated. They have to be repeated while some condition is met. So this is the correct syntax for the do while loop. Okay, so now we will proceed with the next problem. So write a C program to print multiplication table of any number. So this is problem 12. Okay, let's go ahead and include the standard libraries and then define the main function. Great. So what is a multiplication table? So Gaurav is asking what is a multiplication table. So it's I in the primary schools you must have learned those multiplication tables. So let's say someone says print the multiplication table of 4 till 10. So what do you say? 4 times 1 equals to 4. Then 4 times 2 equals to 8 and so on. So this is what a multiplication table looks like. Equals to 40. So you have to write a program that prints this multiplication table. So Gaurav, is this clear? Huh. So let me go ahead quickly write the logic for this problem also. So let's declare a variable number of which we want to generate the multiplication table, and then total rows maybe, and then print of kindly enter the number for printing its multiplication table. Then use a scanf statement to take in the input. So it's percentage %d and the variable is variable number. Then again print the value kindly tell the number of rows for the table session, and then use the scanf statement again. Fine. So now what we will be doing, we will be simply using the for loop to print the multiplication table. So for int I equals to 0, I equals to 1, I is less than total rows, less than equals to total rows, and then I plus plus. And now what we have to do, we have to simply print the multiplication table. So first we define put in the access specifier for the number, then multiplied by, and then the row number that is I and then the value equals to percentage %d. So the values will be number times I is equals to number into I. That's it. That will solve the problem. Let's go ahead and compile and see what it gives us. So let's say I want the multiplication of table of 12 and I want 10 rows. So this is what the multiplication table of 12 will look like. So Gaurav, did I solve your problem? Great. So let's go ahead and copy the code. Great. So then the next question says, write a C program to count number of digits in a number. So I hope now by now you should be able to solve this problem because we solved this problem in the previous one of the similar problems in the previous session also. So does anyone have any doubt in the question number 13? Just type in the chat box so that I can clarify it for you. So anyone? Someone is saying, yes, sir, I have missed the previous session. Okay. Okay, fine. So you can go ahead and look in the YouTube videos also, but still I will solve this problem for you. So because there's a important logic that you will have to use for solving the stuff. So write a C program to count the number of digits in a number. So, so let's go ahead and create a new problem. It's problem 14, 5.c. Let's include the standard IO library and declare the main function. Return 0. So yeah, so what we are given? We are given a number and we want to find the number of digits. So let's declare another variable, total digits. And let's also use a variable remainder. Fine. So let's ask the user for the number. Kindly enter the number. And then use scanf to take in the input. So the logic is like this. So suppose I am giving you a number, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fine. So what we do, just see the logic, what is happening here. So whenever you take the remainder upon division by 10, it always returns the last digit of that number. So Gaurav, so can you see this? So whenever you divide any number by 10, it simply returns the last digit of that number. So this is because 10, there are total 10 digits. So you can try it on your own. Just take any random number and just divide it by 10. You will see the remainder that you will get is the last digit of that number, the least significant digit of that number. In this case, it will be 5. So using this logic, you can extract digits from a number. And suppose if you want to find the number of digits in the number, you simply what you can do integer division. So let's say if I divide it by 10, if I use integer division, then it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. You see you have removed one digit. Yeah, 5 is the last number. Yeah. Last digit. It's not a number here, it's a digit. So, but when you use integer division here, then what happens? The last digit is removed from the number. So we will be using this logic only. We will be iterating through the number until the number becomes 0. We will start removing the digits from the number. So while number not equals to 0, you simply divide number by 10. Number divide equals to 10. And you can just increment the variable total digits. And finally, what you have to do, you have to simply print the value of total digits. Total digits in percentage %d are percentage %d and change the line. So number, comma, total digits. So the compiler was throwing a warning that there is some issue. The issue was that I was not passing the pointer, the address to the variable number. So let's say I enter 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will see the total digits are 5. Okay, so yeah, here you can see one thing, the number becomes 0. It's saying the total digits in 0 are 5. This is incorrect because the variable number itself has been modified. So what we can do, we can create a duplicate that stores the value of number. So let's assign the value number to the variable duplicate and then use duplicate here for showing the actual value. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It says total digits in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are 5. So Gaurav, did this solve your problem? So someone is saying, can we print the same program using for loop? So let's go ahead and try it. So what we need to do for, so we don't have to initialize anything because we want to check for number. We just need to check if number is equals to 0 or not. So let's say number not equals to 0. And then we will increment it by number divide equals to 10. And then what we have to do is simply increment total digits. So let's see if it works. That should work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, this is the program using for loop. So Satyendra, can you just confirm that you got the logic how I solve this problem using the for loop? Great. So even you can also shorten this program. So you can just put in the increment for total digits here and let's see what happens. So again, you can see total digits in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 5. And here you can see there is no body of the for loop. We even don't need the body here right now. So what we are doing, we are not initializing anything. So we are just leaving the first section blank. Then we are giving the condition till which the loop should run. That is while number is not equals to 0. And then you are while incrementing, you are first dividing the number by 10 and then incrementing the total digits by 1. So Gaurav is saying, sir, you said about the remainder, but why you are using quotient? So yeah, let me clarify this again. Remainder gives you the digit. So remainder allows you to traverse the digits present in the number one by one. So remainder will give you the digits, say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But if here the problem is to simply count the number of digits. We do not need to check the value. We do not need the values of digits. That's why we don't need the remainder. And we need the quotient basically here because we are simply counting the number of digits present in the number. So that's why we are using quotient here. Gaurav, did I answer your question? Great. Using while loop. So yeah, this is how you will be solving this problem using while loop and using for loop. So I hope the code logic and code is clear to all of you guys. So I will simply type in the code here. Great. So let's go ahead and see a few more problems. So, so someone is saying the next question is write a program to find power of a number using for loop. So anyone, do you have any doubt in this? I guess you can solve this problem on your own by now. I think there are no questions, so we can proceed. So 15th question says write a C program to check whether a number is Armstrong number or not. So I hope you guys know what Armstrong number is. So you can just search it on the internet, Armstrong number. So a number that is, so what is an Armstrong number? Armstrong number, so let me write in here. A number is an strong number if the sum of what was it? cube of 8 digits. So yeah. So a number is an Armstrong number if the sum of the digits raised to the power of total number of digits is equal to the number itself. Then it is called an Armstrong number. For example, 153 can be written as 1 raised to power 3 plus 5 raised to power 3 plus 3 raised to power 3. So you can just check it, it will work. So yeah, 153 is equals to 1 plus 125 plus 9. I mean, plus 27, sorry. So 153 is an Armstrong number. So now you know how to, now you guys know how to traverse through the digits of a number. You know how to get the total number of digits in a number. So I hope you can solve this problem on your own. If you have any doubts, you can just type in the chat box, but I hope you can solve this problem given the logic. Anyone, do you have any doubt with this logic in implementing this logic? Just raise your, just type in the chat box. Fine. So let's go ahead and solve the next problem. See the next problem. Write a C program to check whether a number is a strong number or not. So again, you can just go on the internet, check what a strong number is. A strong number is a special number whose sum is the factorial of a digits. So a number is a strong number if the sum of the factorial of its digits is equal to the number, then it's a strong number. So it's a similar program to it's the code will be same as similar to the problem 15. So I hope you guys can solve this problem on your own. So just a few changes and you will be able to solve it. So let's go ahead and see question number 17. Write a C program to convert binary to decimal number system. Um, Anyone has any doubt in this problem? So we have to write a C program to convert binary to decimal number system. So I hope you guys know by now what it means. So let's say I am typing a binary digit number like this, then how to convert it to a decimal number system. So you guys know that how to how this value is interpreted. It's basically, so let's take a small example first. So yeah, so every digit has a weightage equals to 2 raised to the power the digit number from the left hand side starting from 0. So it can be written as 1, so leftmost 1 multiplied by 2 raised to the power of 0 1 2 3 plus 0 multiplied by 2 raised to the power 2 plus 1 multiplied by 2 raised to the power 1 plus 1 multiplied by 2 raised to the power of 0. So when you solve this equation, you will get the value. It's 8 plus 2, 10 plus 1, 11. So this is the binary equivalent of the decimal number 11. So everyone, can you confirm that this logic is clear and you can, I hope you can solve this problem using the logic explained above. So you will basically take in the binary number 1011 as input. You will traverse each of its digits one by one using the logic shared for the problem number 14, 15, and 16. So Gaurav is saying logic is not clear. So you are unable. So logic, can you just confirm you are unable to extract numbers from the digits from the number? That's what you are saying, Gaurav. So yeah. So actually, I have explained that logic in the previous session in detail, and I have also solved few problems on that. So please go ahead and revisit that video and try to understand the logic. And still, if you are unable to understand, you can just ask in the next session. You will also get the recording for this session also. So you can go ahead and look back again how I solved problem number 14 for you all. So I'm in problem number 15. No, what I was solving. Problem number 13. So I was solving problem number 13. So you can go ahead and again look at this video and try to understand the logic. Fine. So the logic is simple. So what you suppose you are given a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you let's say you divide by 10, divide it by 10, then just think about two things, quotient and remainder. You will see quotient will be the number with the least significant digit removed, and the remainder will be the least significant digit. So in this case, quotient will be 1, 2, 3, 3, and remainder would be 4. So this is how this problem works. This logic works. So LSD is basically least significant digit. Let me type it. Least significant digit. So yeah. So use this logic. Try to think about this and then you can understand this. Someone is saying I have to explain the question number 17. So yeah, let's go ahead and write a program for this problem. So this was question 13. So we have to write a C program for converting binary to decimal number. Fine. So by now, I hope every one of you are familiar with the logic. So can you just confirm, Sanya and the other student who is asking question on 17, do you understand the logic behind the conversion? If you don't understand the logic, then I can start with explaining the logic. Otherwise, I can simply write the code for it. So yeah, you are saying that you don't understand the logic. So the binary number system is 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 composed of two digits, 0 and 1, whereas decimal number system is composed of 10 digits from 0 to 9. Fine. The base or radix is 2. That is the total number of digits used. Here the base or radix is 10. Fine. So we use 10 digits to represent the decimal number system. We use 2 digits to represent the binary number system. Now let's say I am writing a number 1, 2, 3. How would you interpret it? How would you write it? So what do you say in like primary classes? You must have learned that it is actually converted. How do you write it is in English words? You write it 123. So when you convert this into actual mathematics, how it comes to 123. So what you do, you take the place value of the digit. So the place value for digit 3 is 0. Place value for the digit 2 is 1, and the place value of digit 1 is 2. Multiply the digit with the place value. So basically, digit into base raised to the power of place value. So this is the contribution of that digit to that particular number for any number system. For converting any number system to the decimal number system. So let's say 1, 2, 3 is given in the decimal number system. We want to get the value. What we will say, 1 multiplied by 10 raised to the power, that is base, raised to the power the place value, that is 2. 2, and then add it for all the digits. 2 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 1 plus 3 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 0. So this will lead to values to 100 plus 20 plus 3 equals to 123. So this is how you used to solve these problems in your primary classes. Now suppose I have given a number 101 in binary. So let me specify in binary number system. Now in this case, what happens? The base is 2 and other things are same. So you multiply 1 into the base, that is 2 raised to the power place value. Place value is 2 here. Then again 0 multiplied by 2 raised to the power its place value, that is 1. And then the last digit is 1 multiplied by the base 2 raised to power its place value, that is 0. When you convert this value, you will get, so 1 into 4, 4 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1, that is 5. So this is the decimal equivalent of 5. So did I answer your question? Are you able to understand the logic that I'm using for conversion here? Can you guys confirm, like the two students who were having doubt with this question? Fine. Great. So now can you write this problem on your own? Write this code on your own? Or do I have to write the code? Maybe binary. So Gaurav is saying if the question is to convert from decimal to binary. So yeah, the question is to convert it from the decimal to binary. Okay, so you are asking the opposite. Then the logic is a bit different. So the logic that I explained here is for converting the binary to decimal. It's not from decimal to binary. In that case, you have to basically divide it by 2 and take the remainder. So you can go ahead on the internet and look for the logic for that also. Fine, because it will take a bit of much of time, and that is a separate issue that you can like take up as an homework, and maybe I will add it to the homework for this session only, and I will discuss it in the next session if you have any doubts. So let's go ahead and add another problem here. C program to convert binary decimal to binary number system. So you can also go ahead and look for other problems that require you to conversion from different to different number systems, hexadecimal and then octal and so on. Fine. So I hope Sania and the other student, can you solve this problem on your own? Can you write the code, or should I go ahead and write the code also? Great. So yeah, you can go ahead and solve this problem again. And the last question was write a C program to print ASCII value of all characters. So the second program that we did was printing all the alphabet from A to Z that required us to using the ASCII values. The next question is saying write a C program to print ASCII values of all characters. So can you solve this problem? Does anyone have any doubt in this problem? So I hope you get the logic. So we are basically using type casting from character to integer and integer to character and so on. So no one is asking any queries. So yeah, two students confirm that they can solve this problem. So I believe that it's safe to proceed forward. Fine. So now we'll be proceeding with the problems for this session. So in this week, you all have must have attended the NPTEL lecture. So you all have must gone through the NPTEL lecture, and you were taught about arrays. So arrays are a collection of similar data elements of the same data types that allow programmers to store multiple values in C programming language. So everyone, are you familiar with the theory behind the arrays? How to declare them, what type of value they can store, how to access elements of an array and all that stuff. These topics were taught in your class, in your normal NPTEL lectures. If you have any doubt with basics of arrays, then you can just type in the chat box so I can write simple programs for that. If not, then we can proceed. Great. So let's start with the first problem. What is an array in C? The first option says a collection of similar data elements with the same data type. So it's true. The other option says a built-in function, though it's not a function. A keyword used for declaring variables. No. So Harika is saying, can you explain in short way? So yeah, Harika, I have some few problems at the last that I will be using to explain some of the basics. So then you will be able to understand. So yeah, we will go through some basic examples. So you will be able to understand arrays. So let's start with this MCQ questions and then start with those examples. Fine. So we will be considering some examples on array. So I will be giving some examples. So don't worry about that. So let's go ahead and solve this problem. So the correct option is option A. Array is a collection of similar data elements with the same data type. Great. So let's go ahead and see the next problem. What is the index of the first element in an array? So can anyone just answer it? So you were taught about this in your classes. I'm in your normal lecture videos. So yeah, all of you are answering option A. So yeah, arrays in C programming language start with the index 0. So yeah, that's correct. So this is a common mistake that programmers makes. I mean, when they start coding, is that they consider that arrays start with the index 1, but no, the arrays start with the index 0 in the C programming language. Fine. So let's go ahead and solve the next problem. Which loop is commonly used to iterate all through all the arrays in C? So can anyone just answer this? So yeah, all of you are answering option A for loop. So let me just clarify one thing. This problem is not that well defined, I would say, because for loop is commonly used for iterating through the elements of an array in C, but it's not a restricted condition. So you can use while loop and do while loop also to iterate through elements of an array in C. Even you can use the switch. So there is no switch loop. So yeah, option D is definitely not possible. But you can use for loop, while loop, and do while loop, all these loops for iterating through elements in an array. But commonly we use for loop. Yeah. So the next question says, how can you find the sum of all elements in 1D array ARR with 5 elements using loop in C. So we have to use loop. So there is nothing switch known as switch loop. Maybe I can search it on the internet. Switch. So there is no switch loop. Switch statements are there. So that's why option D is obviously not possible. So yeah, let's go ahead and solve the next problem. How can you find the sum of all elements in a 1D array ARR with 5 elements using loop in C? So we are given an one-dimensional array ARR and we want to find the sum of 5 elements using loop. So let's go ahead and solve this. So anyone, do you have any idea? So let's say our array is like this. ARR equals to, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say our array is like this, and we want to find the sum of all the elements in the array. How would you do? And we have to use loop. So yeah, obviously option A is correct. You are going through all the indices one by one and you are saving the sum, but we have to use loop. So option C or option D are correct. Among them, we have to check which one is correct. So all of you are saying option D. So let's see what happens. So let's go ahead and try run option C. So I starts from 0, the index starts from 0. So we are adding the value at the ith index. So the initial index is 0. So it takes in the value 1. Then I is less than equals to 5, it's true. Then I is incremented, I becomes 2. I becomes 1. At 1, it's the value is 2 and so on. It goes on until I is 4. When I is 4, we reach the end of the array and we get the value 5. And then I becomes 5. When I becomes 5, then also the condition is true for option C, but it's not true for option D. And when I is 5, you are trying to access the sixth element of the array, which only has 5 elements. Then it will throw some error. So yeah, the correct answer is option D. Option D. I hope everyone of you understand this explanation. So I'm saying option A. So option A is logically correct, but the program says you have to use loop, and option A is not using any loop. So that's why option A is not correct. So Shreya, did I answer your question? Great. So let's go ahead and move on to the next question. Question number 5. What is the output of following code? So we are including the standard IO library, then we are declaring the main function, and then we are declaring an array that contains value of the integer data type, and we are not specifying any size to the array. And so it can we are specifically initializing the values during the declaration only, so we don't need to specify the size. So here we are declaring the array and the elements are 1 2 3 4 5. At the index 0, value is 1 and so on. We are declaring another variable I which belongs to the integer data type and assign the value 0 to it. And then there is a while loop that says while I is less than 5, do something. Basically, I repeat this statement. So initially I is 0, so yeah, it's true. Then what it will do, it will print of some value and then a space. The value is integer data type and it's trying to print the array value at the ith index. Fine, everyone, can you understand this logic? So yeah, so it's trying to print it's printing the array element at the ith index followed by a space, and then I is incremented by 2. So initially I was 0, then I would become, so I was 0, then it will, I plus 2 is 2, and then it would become 4. So let's go ahead and print the values. At 0, the value is 1. At value 2 is 3, and at 4, the value is 5. It will print 1, 3, 5. Option A is correct. So Shiv Kumar, your answer is incorrect. So option A is correct for this problem. So someone is saying BA. So BA is not correct. Option A is only correct. So one thing to make sure understand here is we are printing the value in the uh, so yeah, I had to correct a few things and then we are here. So we are accessing the element value at the index I and then printing its value. And the variable I initially was 0. After first it's printing the value at the index 0, that is 1. I is incremented by 2. It says I plus equals to 2. This means I equals to I plus 2. Someone is saying before assigning, we print the array, then option B is correct. So I don't know what you're talking about assigning here. So Shiv Kumar, can you just elaborate your problem, your query? So Shiv Kumar, can you just explain, yeah, elaborate your problem, your query? You're saying before ASSIN, I am assuming that it's assignment. We print the array, then option B is correct. So if you are saying that if it was I equals to I plus 1, then it would have printed, then option B would have been correct. But here I is equals to I plus 2. We are skipping one value. That's why only the values at the odd indices are printed. So 0, 0, 2, and 4. Got it? So do you have any doubt? Option A is correct. Great. So let's go ahead and proceed with the next problem. What will the output after execution of the program? So again, we are declaring an array A and declaring variable I. Both of them belong, and the variable result also. All of these belong to declare data type integer. And then the array A has 4 values, 3, 1, 2, 4. We are now in the next line, what we are doing, we are taking the value at index 0 from the variable A and store it in the variable result. So now what result contains? Result equals to 3. So it's the value at index 0 in the array A. Now we are starting with the for loop. So let me just move it in the next page. Now we are starting with the for loop. And in the for loop, we are declaring another variable I. So it's basically iterator for the loop. And we are checking if I is less than 4, then finally incrementing it by 1, I plus plus. So I is equals to 1, 1 is less than 4, true. Then what we have to do, we have to check if result is greater than A at I. So is the result is currently 3, is and the A at I is currently 1. So if result that is 3 greater than A at 1, that is 1. So the condition is true, 3 is greater than 1, so it's true. What it does, if it's true, then continue. So what does the continue statement does? It skips the execution of all the statements after that line and jumps to the beginning of the loop. So when it again jumps to the beginning of loop, the result has the value 3. The value of I has been incremented by 1, and it's now 2, and 2 is less than 4. Then again it checks if result that is 3 greater than A at 2. So 0, 1, 2, 3 is greater than 2. The condition is true. Then again we have to continue. I becomes 3 and 3 is less than 4. And if result that is 3 greater than A at 3, that is 4. So yeah, 3 is not greater than 4. The continuous state will not be executed and result will be updated as variable 4, as the value 4. Now again, I becomes 4. And since I is 4 is not less than 4, the loop exits and the result has the value 4 right now. Now what we are doing, we are printing the value stored in the variable result. The correct answer is option D, that is 4. Option D. So can anyone just tell me like what's the logic behind what the program is trying to do here? If you can't, I will explain it, but I tried to try you guys to understand what it's trying to do. So you are given an array with some value, then you are picking up some value based on a certain condition and printing that value. Can you try to understand what it's doing and just type in the chat box? So yeah, I will explain it once again. Arika, just go through the code again. I hope the text is visible and try to understand what it's doing. So yeah, Shreya is correct. It's basically finding out the maximum element in the array. So you're given an array, you are assigning a variable as the first element of that array, zeroth at the zero index. And then you are going through each of the values present in that array and checking if that value is greater than the value stored. So if it's not greater than the value stored, then simply continue the loop. If it's greater than the value stored, then assign the value to the stored value in the variable result and then finally print the value result. So yeah, it's finding the maximum of the array. So Harika, did you get the logic? So what it's doing, it's basically taking a variable result and storing this element at the zeroth index from the array A. Now what it's doing, it's looping through all the elements of the array A, starting from the next element, the element at the index 1. And it checks if the result contain the value stored in the result is greater than the current element in the array, then we have to do nothing because result is already greater than the element. If not, then update the value of result and then repeat until the end of the array. So it's basically finding the maximum of the array. So let's go ahead and solve the next problem. What will be the output? Huh. So again, we have integer variable n and we assign a value 2 to it. Then we define a variable sum and assign a value 5 to it. Now we are using switch case statement here and we are switching to the variable n. We are switching to the expression n. So the expression n returns actually the value of n, that is 2. So it shows the case 2. So we have a case 2 defined here and we are subtracting 3 from the variable sum. So basically sum becomes 5 minus 3. Now, since there is no break statement, the next case will also get executed. So now what we are doing, sum is multiplied by 4. So sum equals to 4 into 5 minus 3, that is 2. So it becomes 8. And now there is a break statement, so no other statement will be executed. Now we are printing the value of sum, that is 8. So the solution is the program prints 8. So this is a pretty simple question for you guys because we have already considered many questions regarding switch cases. So still, if you have any doubt, just type in the chat box, then I can explain it to you. If not, then we can proceed with other questions. Anyone, do you have any doubts with this problem? Okay. So yeah, it's a simple switch case problem. You can simply dry run it using the values and you will get the answer. So these were some few basic problems on arrays that I wanted to cover for you guys for this session. Apart from those, I have some practice questions for you guys that I will be for those. I'll be clearing your doubts in the next session. Till then, I want to ask all of you for queries. So I want to answer all your queries. So half an hour is left. So I will be considering queries from you guys. So till now, what we have learned throughout this session. So it's week 6. So we are at the midpoint of the session. So I want to ask you guys if you have any doubts related to the topics that are covered till date. So initially we started with C programming language, how to declare variables, storing values into the variables, different data types that are provided by the C language. Then we started with we saw some operators, arithmetic, logical, and Boolean and conditionals. Then we saw if-else statements, how to use those statements. Then we saw switch case, and then we saw some predefined functions such as printf, scanf, standard input library. We saw some we saw the hashtag define operator that is used to define constants in C. And then we saw how to repeat some blocks of code in C programming language. We saw the ternary operator. Went through the three types of loop: for, while, and do while loop. And currently we are solving problems on arrays. So till now, does anyone of you have any doubt? So I will take a break for maybe 5 minutes. At 7:35 we will resume, and then I will take up the queries that you all have typed in the chat box. So every one of you, please go ahead, rethink of the topics that we have covered till date, and ask any doubt you have right now so that I can clear all the doubts. And there is a break for 5 minutes for me, so you guys can go ahead and think of the queries, and then I will consider your query. So hi everyone. I'm back. So am I audible? Can just anyone just confirm if I'm audible or not? Great. So yeah, is my screen visible? So my screen is visible. Great. So let me clear some stuff. So there were some doubts. First one, I'm taking it up. So sir, we don't have any doubts regarding the content. Oh no, sir. So am I so my screen? Oh, sorry, my screen is not shared. So now the screen is visible. Can anyone just confirm? Great. So yeah. So one of the students was saying, we don't have any doubts regarding content, but after completing this, can we build projects regarding C language? So you will be so doing projects is a good practice. It helps you to understand lots of concepts involved in with programming. So yeah, you can start with some basic projects and then do it then. Okay. Then the next question is, what is the basic structure of the array? So okay, let's go ahead and see the basic structure of an array. Maybe I can write up an program also. Program it. So, so basically an array is a data structure that allows you to store multiple values of the same data type in a contiguous memory location. So yeah, initially you guys were asking for some examples also. I guess I missed some of the messages from you. So yeah, let me see. Uh, Initially, some of you were asking some examples on arrays also. Let's go ahead and do this again. So let's say I want to declare an array of integer data type. So what an array allows you? It allows you to store multiple values in a single variable belonging to the same data type. The syntax is like this: integer, the data type, followed by the array name, and then opening and closing brackets. These are square brackets that tell the compiler that this is an array data structure. You have to define the size in this array. So let's say I define the size as 5. It's containing 5 elements. So this is how you can declare an array in C. So this is the basic structure of declaring arrays in C. Fine. Now there is another way. So now what you can do, you can give some values at different indices. Let's say array at 0 is 1, and then array at 1 is 2, or maybe simply the indexes. Array 2 is 2, and so on. Array at 3 is 3, array at 4 is 4. So yeah, this is how you assign the values to the array. And then if you want to print the value, you can simply use the for loop. For int I equals to 0, I is less than 5, and then I plus plus. And you can do one more thing here. So simply print the values at I. So let's go ahead and see what it does. So yeah, you can see it's printing the value stored in the array. So I hope now you guys are familiar with uh, this syntax that I'm using here to print the array in single line using the for loop. So during the increment, you can write multiple statements followed separated by the comma operator. Fine. So yeah, this is one way of declaring and initializing arrays. Let's go ahead and see how we can declare array without knowing the size. So let's say we don't we actually know the contents of an array. Then the array variable is declared like this, int array, then square braces and the size defined within it equals to curly braces on the right hand side, and you define the element present in the array, the values given, separated by the comma operator. So let's say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is another way of defining and initializing values to an array. Fine. An interesting thing here to note that is if you're using this kind of initialization, you don't need to specify the size. It automatically gets the size from the given array on the right hand side. Fine. So this is how you can declare arrays in C programming language. And the basic structure is like this only. You use curly braces and commas similar to sets used in mathematics to define the array values. You can use the square braces to access for the values stored at particular indexes in the indices in the array. Fine. So Gaurav, did I answer your question? So great. So now someone is asking, sir, can you explain the range of signed, unsigned, INT, float, and double data types? So let's go ahead and see what these are. What are the so range of data types in C. So let's go ahead and open up some website. So yeah, it says integer data type belongs to 2 or 4 bytes. Fine. So let's see what does it mean and how do we calculate data type from the. So let me open up a section here. Fine. Range and data type of range of integer signed and unsigned integer. Fine. So let's say we suppose the integer belongs to 4 bytes. No. So let's say the integer data type is of requires 4 bytes of storage. So it is basically implementation dependent. So some machines might or some compilers might use 4 bytes, some might use 2 bytes. Fine. So 4 bytes means, and we are talking about signed integers. So for signed integers, yes, the first bit is used to denote the sign. So it is like this: 0 for negative and 1. I believe, I don't remember exactly, but yeah, 0 for negative and 1. No, no, I guess it's 1 for negative and 0 for positive. This might be reverse also, but I don't exactly remember. Let me see. Sign. So yeah, one of the bit is used for uh, specifying negative or positive. So let's say this is the convention we are using for us right now. Fine. Then how many bits we have? How many bits we can use to store values? So would be 4 bytes. So 4 into 8, that is equals to 32 bits. 4 into 8, and 1 is used for defining the sign. So 32 minus 1, that is 31 bits. So the maximum value that we can store is, so let's open up the calculator and just compute 2 raised to power 31. Oh, sorry. Two. So this is the maximum value that we can store. So then you can use minus or plus on the either sides. So this minus 1 basically. So this is how the computation is stored. The maximum value that we can store is plus, so it's 2 raised to the power 31 minus 1. So this is how we compute the maximum or minimum values. I hope the value is fine. So yeah, you can see this value is the maximum value that we can store. So you can see confirm from the table. The range is like this. And the minimum is, so this value. Fine. So you can see there is a skewed representation here. Basically, it's this is because 0 is also there and 0 is considered as a positive number. That's why we have a less minus 1 here and not minus 1 here. So this is how the ranges are computed. So I hope this answers your question. You can go ahead and check on the internet for all the other data types also. For float and double, it's a bit different. They use IEEE floating point representation. That is another topic that we I don't think is fair to discuss right now. So you can go ahead and look up on the internet for that. Fine. So let's go ahead and see another problem. What is the basic structure of array is done? And the next question is saying how to write program for LCM. So do we have something here? So can anyone just confirm if whether this problem is as given as an assignment for this week or not? If it is given, then I cannot answer this question. So any one of you just confirm if this problem is belongs to the problem given in the assignment for this week. So Shreya and Sania, you are saying yes. So you are saying yes to that stuff that this problem is already given as an assignment. I think I can check also. Let me. So I don't think that problem is already given. So yeah, no sir, I just cannot be understood the question. Great. So, acha, great. So yeah, I can just answer this problem for you. So there is a problem. So let me create a new file, lcm.c. So program to find LCM of two numbers in C. So let's suppose we want to write a program that finds the least common multiple of two numbers. So I hope every one of you are familiar with this logic, with this idea of least common multiples and how to find them. Can anyone just type in the logic? So I'm not getting any answer. So let's take two word numbers A and B. Ask the user to enter the values. Kindly enter the first number, then scan the value. Then enter the second number, and then use scanf again. And the second number variable. Great. Now we want to find the least common multiple of these two values. So what is the least common multiple? It's basically the lowest value greater than or equal to the largest value among A and B that is divisible by both of them. So I hope every one of you is familiar with this concept. So let's say for A equals to 2 and B equals to 3, LCM is 6. So LCM is the least value that is greater than equals to 3 and it's divisible by both of the numbers. Everyone, can you just confirm this? So I guess every one of you are familiar with the idea of LCM. So how to proceed with this problem? So there is this basic idea that says, so how should we write the logic? We should, I guess we can do simple stuff. So first let's get the maximum value. So let's define two more variables, int max comma min. If A is greater than B, then max equals to A and min equals to B, else max equals to B, min equals to A. Now what we have to check? We have to check. Oh yeah, there is the issue. Fine. So now what we have to check? If max modulo min equals to 0, simply printf LCM of A and B is and simply exit. So percentage of A, B is max. Fine. Else. So this means the maximum value is not divisible by both of them. Then what we can do, we can start from that value. So we can loop for I in range. Oh, sorry. Um, I equals to 0, I equals to max is there is no end condition plus, and then if max modulo I equals to 0 and min modulo I equals to 0, what you are getting, you are getting the LCM. Now the variable I contains the LCM. So simply print the value of I here and exit. So this is the program to find the LCM of two numbers. Let's go ahead and see if it's correct. So let's say 2 and the second is 3. So somehow it's going into the infinite loop. So let's print the values. There is some issue with my code. Sorry, yeah, the condition is reversed. So basically, I has to be divisible by max and min. So that's the idea of LCM. Fine, now it will work. So you can see it's printing the LCM of 2 and 3 is 6. So let's say 12, I put in 12 and 13. Oh, yeah. It's 156. So can anyone just confirm the LCM of 12, 13 is 156? So yeah, it's correct. Fine. So this is how you write a program for computing LCM. There are other ways also. Fine. So does anyone have any more questions? I guess I have solved most all of the queries for this session. So just go ahead and solve this practice programming questions that I have created for you guys. And then ask me, we will discuss these problems in the next session. Fine. So it's already 8. So I guess we can end this session. So thank you all. See you next time.